And here I bees. It's been a long day. I had to go back to the dentist today. They wanted to check that stuff they did in my mouth a couple of weeks, well, it was a week or so ago. And then I got my whole face x-rayed. Oh my God. You know, I'm just going to say if you guys are not a regular visitor to your dentist, please start. Don't be like me and wait 2 years and then go in and then they have to do like everything. Go every 6 months like they suggest. Stay on top of your shit. I mean, my teeth aren't in bad shape or anything, but I did have to get that crown a couple of weeks ago. And so, that's kind of fucking with me because if had I done better, that wouldn't have happened. So, I don't want you to be like me. You especially those of you who got dental benefits with your job, please use them. Please use them. But, welcome everybody. Oh, see, I need to be like was it okay, my mentor right there. I need to, welcome everybody to the show. I was kind of peeking into the chat stream a little earlier, and I noticed that we had some new subscribers who are here for the first time in the live stream. So, we want to welcome you to What the Fuck Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday, rain or shine, unless I'm like totally sick, in which case we don't do it. I think I've only missed one though. And what we do here is over the previous week or so, people submit their advice questions. I have put the link, which I will repeat right here, directly to the advice submission form. If you have a question that you would like to be answered on this live stream, use that link and submit your question. We don't do every question, but we try to get things that have a pretty broad appeal to a great many people. And then I have my cousin extracts them from the email. She puts them in a document for me that looks like this. It has the date and it has the questions, and then I go through and I read the questions and I respond to them just like off the cuff, just like that. So sometimes there are things that I might miss or not really explain that well. I'm not planning to be here all day, so please check the chat stream for comments by the chatters, because sometimes they have questions or comments or experiences to share that augment the response that I've given, and so it makes it a really complete picture for the person who has submitted the question, as well as those who are interested in have that maybe that same kind of drama going on in their life. So let's get started. Wait, let me double check first to see how many questions do we have. Oh my God, there's 14 of them today. Whew, well, let's go. Question number one. My boyfriend of several years has mentioned that he wants to take my 30-year-old son to a strip club. He said this several different times. I'm not approved, but I don't particularly approve of this type of thing. However, it's obvious my boyfriend does like it, although I don't think he's gone for a while, but I don't really ask. My son has mild autism and no girlfriend. I just don't think this type of activity is the best thing for him. He's confused as it is when it comes to the opposite sex already. Will this add to his confusion or is it harmless? I suppose it just feels odd to me to have my boyfriend encourage this on several occasions, although they have never actually gone. By the way, my boyfriend has had porn issues for some of the time we've been together, but I don't think he watches much of it anymore since he knows it was out of hand. How should I handle this? Okay, first of all, I don't know if, I'm just telling you my gut reaction. This is some bullshit. Okay, first of all, your son is 30 years old. That's fine. He's 30 years old. But when a person is on the autism spectrum, their social skills, their ability to handle certain kinds of concepts like sarcasm, they take everything literally. There's a lot of things that, as a mom of a person with a diagnosed, he's been diagnosed to have autism, I would be looking at this dude real sideways. If he's had issues with porn, And I mean, I know this is, people probably gonna say, "What's wrong with you?" I don't trust men that be trying to do. We're too worried about what other men do, or somebody with a childlike mind. Because see, the way that I look at it, he's setting your son up because your son is gonna be horny, and then he's gonna be showing him all these things that he could do to relieve himself. And the next thing you know, your man is gonna be doing some crazy stuff with your son. That's where my mind went. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm usually like, I get feelings from the letters that come through. It's like this energy that I get. And the energy I'm getting from this is very unsavory, especially the fact that he's mentioned it several different times. If you said no the first time, that it should have been dropped at that point. That's not his child. And even though the young man is 30, we don't know developmentally what age he is. And you did specify that he's already confused about the opposite sex. So see, this is just something that's going to confuse him even more. That stuff is not realistic. And if he goes in there and he starts thinking that that's how all women should be treated, because autistic people take shit literally, right? They don't get sarcasm and other kind of double entendre and that kind of stuff. They don't get it. So you have a very very serious situation here. I would sit my boyfriend down and I would tell him, "Look here, Holmes, you are not going to talk about this anymore. If you try any shit of a sexual nature with my son, not only am I going to fire you, I might even have to call the police because you understand what's going on with him. He's a protected person. That means he's under my care and custody. I don't want you doing anything or saying anything. Don't you give him no magazines. Don't you say shit to him. Don't you show him sit on the computer. Nothing. You don't do nothing with him. I want him to develop in a normal way and not be kind of associated with your sick perversions like you've been doing for all these years." Oh no, I'm telling you. This is just something about this is giving me the willies. I don't know. It's just making me feel really nervous about this kid. This guy, okay, he's not a kid, but I mean, mentally and emotionally, he's a child. And I'm not liking this at all. And I'm glad that she wrote to me. Like I said in the last few weeks, at least these people have enough sense to write to me because they can feel that something's not right, but they don't quite know what to do about it or what it is that's wrong. I think sometimes they don't want to believe what they're thinking. But you know me, I don't give a fuck. He's a fucking pervert. He's got porn problems, and now he's trying to spread that bullshit to your son, who he knows has some issues. And the next thing you know, you're gonna find him up in bed with your 30-year-old autistic son trying to figure what the fuck happened and write me another letter. No. And I mean, like, really, if he persists in this, you need to get rid of this dude. That's my closing comment on this. Oh, yes. Okay, creative one. Get it, girl. That's what you need to do. I'm so glad that you were aware of the dangers and protected your child. So many women just don't fucking get it. They don't get it. They don't see where the dangers are. Yeah, well, see, he's going to have a new kind. He'll have live porn now. If he can convince this boy to do stuff, taking him off, doing all this crazy shit, he won't even have to watch on the computer. He can take him to a motel and set some shit up and sit there and record it and sell all kind of stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, maybe my mind is, I've been doing this too long and I've seen too much sick shit, but I would not trust this man nowhere, no way, no how around my child. And they're not even married. She says her boyfriend of several years. And he's offered to take this son several times. And so she says, no, but he keeps talking about it. See, no, I would shut that shit down. He would be fired. I would be too concerned. I'd be too, even though the boy is, like I said, 30, he's not like a little kid, but there's something real unsavory about this whole thing. Question number two. Deb, I have a 14-year-old daughter. The other day, she called me over to her computer to look at a message she got on Facebook from a 17-year-old. She put that 17-year-old in quotes. He told her she's cute, he wants to be her friend, he has a lot of affection to give, and he could visit her at school during lunch. All of my alarms went off, and her older sister, 19, is ready to get a posse together and string this guy up. I'm with her. I vote that we tell this young man to stop all contact with my child and go find a friend his age, or we will take this matter to his parents and school. My daughter votes we go straight to his parents or the police. I'm a longtime follower of yours from the Ask Heartbeat days. Oh, damn. Way before I even had my two daughters. And I vaguely remember at one point you discussing a situation you experienced with someone trying to get at your daughter when she was around that age. What is your vote? What should I do? Okay, wait, let me go back and look at this again. Okay, the little girl's 14. He claims to be 17. That's the same shit that happened with my daughter. Those of you who are new here may not have heard this story, but this shit really happened, and it was the scariest shit I've ever had. Just frightening. My daughter was in the clutches of some kind of online pedophile person, and people don't. I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in spirits and afterlife and reincarnation and stuff like that. I believe that the dead can communicate with us if they want to. So for a period of time, my dad had my dad died in 1994, and my daughter was 6 at the time, and this happened when she was 14. And my dad had a very distinctive smell because he did carpentry work. We owned property. That was our family business. And he always had smell like paint and, sheetrock and coffee and cigarettes. That's what he had this very distinctive smell. Why did I keep smelling that smell in my house? Every time I went from my bedroom into the hallway, my daughter's room was here, the doorway to her room was here, mine was here. I smelled that smell. And over a period of about 2 weeks, it got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I happened to mention it to a woman who I know who does like readings and stuff like that. And she said, "Girl, your dad's trying to give you a message. You need to sit down and ask him what it is he's trying to tell you." And so I was like, "What?" But I sat down and it was in the dark. And I said, "Okay, Daddy, I'm ready to, hear what you got to say. What is it you're trying to tell me?" Clear as day, I heard his voice say, "Check my daughter's computer." Clear as day. I had never done anything like that before. I never thought I had a reason to. I get up, I logged onto her computer. Let me tell y'all what I saw. I started to cry. It was so scary. I'm getting choked up now just thinking about it. This dude, I read like a series of emails, like chat thing, what they call them, the instant message. She was on AOL at the time. And I had it blocked so only, for kid access, like I think they had like preteen access or whatever. But this person had set up account pretending that he was that age, so he bypassed that safety net. And he was talking about, first he was like, "Oh, I'm 17 and this and that," and he's supposed to live in some other state, and they're chit chatting and blah blah blah, and she's talking about her hobbies and in her interests and whatnot, and then suddenly he wasn't 17, he was 21. So I'm still reading like this. What I read the stuff, it was about an hour and a half. I read it because she had saved them. And then suddenly he want to introduce a friend of his, a cousin or something, who was like 30. And so they're trying to be friends, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So then the guy tells my daughter, well, she has her AOL email account, which I had access to. So this guy tells her how to set up an account on Yahoo. So she had done it, right? And so she had shared with him what it was. And I know she's at that, I pretty much figured out what her password was. Why did I log into that email account? This dude had sent her all kinds of porno pictures, him getting his dick sucked, all kind of shit, right? It didn't show his face, but he's like, "Oh, what do you think about this? Would you do it something?" And he's asking her, was she a virgin? What, she trying to tell her what to do and stick stuff up in her. It was the most egregious, nasty, frightening shit I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even, I was just floored. So I immediately called the police. They're like, "Well, we don't really do anything, blah, blah, blah." So then I called a friend of mine who's had a neighbor who was a cop, and turned out that he worked for a sex crime unit in Francisco. He told me who to report it to in the state. The FBI had these cyber crime units they had just set up and blah, blah, because this was a long time ago. She was 14 at the time. And so they had just set all of this stuff up. So I called the people, and this cop who was their neighbor sent the guy to my house. They took a copy of everything on her computer. I filled out all this paperwork, with everything that I knew, and then they went away. Come to find out, and this is a true story. This happened to me. This is not hearsay. This happened to me in my house with my daughter when she was 14 years old. I'm telling you what the fuck happened. And it's like, you parents, we have to be more. I mean, I still beat myself up about that because I should have been more vigilant. I should have been checking. I bet you after that I installed this software on her computer, though. It took an image every so many seconds of what was on her screen. So I was constantly checking to see what she was up to. And this guy, it turned out later, worked at Lawrence Livermore Labs in Livermore, which at the time wasn't that far from where we lived. He was 47 years old and had a history of, inappropriate contact with minors. So now we the only black. No, we lived in this area. There wasn't that many black people. So had she told him what school she went to, it would have been very easy for him to figure out which one she was of, like 12 students, some of which were boys. So that limits it down even less. So I mean, girl, I'm telling y'all, that was the scariest shit I've ever had experienced in my life, and it was because my dad, in his spirit form, was still taking care of his granddaughter. And a lot of people don't believe me. I swear to whatever if you put a stack of Bibles, even though, like I said, I'm not a religious person, you want me to swear on a stack of Bibles, I will do that. This actually happened. Every word I just told you is absolutely factually true. This shit happened exactly the way I told you. And that, I'm telling you, that shit was scary. So for you to hear this and you think this kid is 17, this kid is not 17. Trust me, he's not. And what you need to do is close your daughter's Facebook account. She don't need to be on Facebook. With this kind of stuff happening, she can do like schools sometimes have, these instant messenger things, or where the kids, students can do it, or you can set something up, with Microsoft or something. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but get her off of Facebook because there's too many old men trolling for children. They troll for adult women on Facebook, so they're gonna be trolling for some little kid. You can't do that. She should have no pictures online, no identifying information online. Check your accounts and your sister's accounts and your family's accounts. No pictures of her online. No minor children online. I am a firm believer in that. If you notice, it's like I might say, oh, well, this and this, but I don't say what city they live in, where they go to school, they names, nothing. Because nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know. This shit is real. Okay? Yes, Aisha is very like after my husband died, I did a lot of research into, spirituality and reincarnation and what happens after we die. I mean, I must have read 50 books. And yeah, so I believe that, they can contact us when they want to. And I'm telling you, I recognize that smell anywhere. That was my dad. It was weird as hell, but that's what happened. And ultimately, I think because of that, it possibly saved my daughter's life because this dude lived too close. He's talking like he was from another state. He was like 20 minutes away from us. So a gun wouldn't have helped because I wouldn't have known what happened. She just would have disappeared. Well, I mean, I would have had my gun. They wouldn't have done shit. Not in this situation. It wouldn't have done anything because I would have had no clue what happened to my daughter. She went to school and then one day she just didn't come home. That's what would have happened. And like I said, it still gets me choked up. She gets on my nerves and all of that stuff, but that's my baby. I don't want nothing to happen to her like that. So you lady, I just told you right. I did share that story some time ago, a couple of years ago. Now my new audience just got to hear it again. And I think all parents need to pay attention to that kind of stuff. Watch what your kids do online. Watch what information they give out. Make sure that they don't turn all the geotags off on their phones and their computers. That's it's of primary importance because that shit'll like have you quote checking in and people will know where your kid goes to school, where your kid goes to karate lessons, where your kid goes to music lessons. Because they all taking these selfies and shit, posting them up everywhere. So make sure that you turn it off and turn it off on your phone, and make sure that none of your relatives are posting pictures with your kids on them with their tags on either. Everybody needs to be diligent to protect the minors in our communities. Some old decrepit fool. Tell him no. Tell him any 20 years older than you, whatever he knows about IT, the shit is extinct, defunct, and been replaced by new shit anyway. He don't need to be trying to mentor nobody. Fuck out of here. So anyway, let's move on to question number three. Now that my nerves are shot, I'm a 31-year-old plus size woman and recently in April 2018 got married. It's been a shaky year. Before I got married, I was plus size and my 35-year-old husband knew this. It's kind of hard to miss. About 6 months ago, he told me that some of the issues we have stem from my weight. He then went on to say that fat grosses him out. I'm laughing to keep from cussing. My weight has never come up by him before. He also never made it feel like a problem for us. I asked when did he start feeling this way, and he said he always had. What action should I take from here? You should go immediately and file for divorce. That's what you should do. He's found somebody else. That's what that means. And he's trying to make it seem like there's something wrong with you so that he can, ease out the marriage feeling guilt free. What you need to understand is when a man starts on this kind of abuse track right here, it's a downhill slope. He's not going to stop until your self esteem has been eviscerated. So, what you need to do is just cut him off at the pass and say, okay, well, what you're doing now is attacking something about myself that even if I wanted to change, it would take time to change, and something that you already knew existed about me that you seem to accept, but now that you're not. Now you're not. Now you're trying to reject it and make it an issue. I'm not going to go along with this game, so I'm going to file for divorce, and I wish you the very best. And I'm telling you this, even though people say, well, why do you always say that people should get divorced? Because she's going to end up divorced anyway. She's going to end up divorced whether she hangs on to this bullshit and tries to lose weight for him and exercise and stuff. Because whatever she does next, it's not going to be enough. Then her hair's not going to be right. Her makeup is going to be wrong. Well, she's too flabby because she lost all that weight and now she needs to get surgery to tighten up the skin. It's always gonna be something. He's never gonna be satisfied with you the way that you are. And to me, that is the key thing for people being loved is acceptance for who and what they are. If he really had a problem with your weight before, it might should have come up before then, and maybe he could have suggested you guys joining the gym, going for walks, right, getting some bicycles and riding bikes together, something like that to get you to be more active, but not talking about your weight like this and attacking you for it and saying it grosses him out. That's rude. Yeah, he's trying to, but he's trying to do it because he has somebody else he's interested in. That's what that's all about. So that's the action that you need to take immediately. Go tomorrow to the nearest divorce attorney that you know is good. Tell him what's going on and tell him what you want to do. Tell him you've been married less than a year. You should be able to get an annulment, but that depends on what state because there's different rules for that. And so if you can get an annulment since it's been less than a year, do that and it'll be like you never were married. Okay? It never happened. Question number four. I don't even know if he wanted to be with somebody, because it's, something that I might not know here. Like maybe this girlfriend got some kind of bank. Maybe she has, money. Maybe she got some kind of position that helped him do a come up. You know what I mean? This is all she put, but all of those thoughts ran through my mind. But I do not answer my questions based on coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. I answer by what they put, and that's all I go by. So, those are some possibilities, though. I'm just throwing that out there for those listening. That could be a component of why he chose her if he was always grossed out about it. There was some underhanded motivation to make him get with her and use her to his advantage. What that was, I don't know. So, we can only guess. Question number 4. He doesn't want the divorce, Hadia. When they do this kind of stuff, it's not about breaking up for you. It's about destroying you. It's evil. It's vindictive and hateful behavior. It's not about just getting away, because that's what a real man would do. Just say, look, this, I thought this could work out, but it didn't. He wouldn't need to talk about her weight or anything else. He would just say, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't really working the way that I thought it was going to be. And leaving her self esteem intact. It's already going to be bad enough that she's gonna feel like, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough to be married? I mean, she's gonna be going through all that stuff regardless. But now he just like put a nail in the coffin, and what they call it, a stake right through her heart, talking about her weight and stuff. And I mean, do you think she wants to be overweight? I don't know any woman that wants to be overweight. I mean, there's some, extenuating circumstances. A lot of it's rooted in childhood sexual abuse. They just want to be, they will try to eat the way into being unattractive. They don't think that's what it is when they're a little kid, but that's what it is as an adolescent. They feel like if they're big, the person won't bother them because they won't be attractive anymore. That's real easy to figure out. But I like I said, these are just ideas. I'm not responding to her question based on these, pro, you know, assumptions, projections, possibilities, maybes, happenstance, creatives out of my imagination. That's not how I answer my advice question. I go by what she put. But I am saying that when a man starts on this track, and this is for a fact, this is abuse, is not going to get better. What you need to do is get yourself away from this dude before he destroys you. All right, let's move on to question number 4. She says, please bear with me. This is a long one. Oh my God. I can see I'm going to be skipping some of this shit. My husband and I are newlyweds. We'll be closing in mid March on a new house. It's our first house together. However, dilemmas causing tension. My mother in law is selling her house and moving in with my sister in law and her kids and her husband. She will close and need to be out by May 10th. My brother in law lives with her and he will also have to move. This is a 40-year-old man who insists he will not move out when their childhood home sells. Anytime my mother in law tries to help him find a place, he gives her a hard time and throws a tantrum. He has a lot of issues with change. He's also used to his mother taking care of him every single need and babying him. Mind you, he is not suffering from any sort of handicap or disability. He's just lazy, stubborn, and afraid to be on his own without his mommy. So now my mother-in-law is trying to manipulate me and my husband into taking him in. Oh, fuck no. She claims that he will have no place to go and will end up homeless. I am completely against taking him in. I do love him, but he can be extremely difficult to deal with, and I refuse to be uncomfortable in my own home. He also doesn't have a vehicle, nor will he have a job. So he is just a dusty bum, living off of his mama. My husband has told his mother no on several occasions, but she will not let it go. Basically, I feel she's trying to pawn off her burden on us by demanding that we take in her man-child son. I am a new wife. I want to start a family. I want privacy. I want to do as I please in the house that we work so hard to save up for. My brother-in-law is controlling. He gets drunk and falls into deep depressions with crying fits. He has a lot of resentment towards the fact that my mother-in-law is selling their family home, but it's because she cannot afford it anymore. He throws fits while enraged and needs to be treated like a 2-year-old. My husband agrees that his mother's idea of having him come to move with us is an awful idea. However, I do know my mother-in-law is working on my husband in an attempt to manipulate him into taking his brother. I hate making my husband take sides, but I told him I will be gone if he agrees to having this dude live with us. Am I wrong for refusing to enable my lazy brother-in-law by not taking him in? How do I go about ensuring that my mother-in-law stops her manipulation tactics on my husband? I have yet to personally have a talk with her about this, but I'm on the verge of losing my cool because she's not respecting our wishes and keeps pushing the idea, trying to guilt trip my husband. He's a softie when it comes to his mother, so I worry that her manipulation techniques will end up proving successful. He does not fully and completely know how I feel about this subject, and I refuse to debate about the topic. It's a hard no for me no matter what. Let me tell you what you need to do. You and that pussy ass husband of yours. I mean, it's good he's been telling his mother no. But your bitch ass need to step up. Who this off the fuck? You the woman of the house. Okay? Nobody comes up in that bitch unless you agree to it. That's what you need to call and tell your trifling two-bit piece of shit mother-in-law. You get on the phone and you do it right after this video. You call that bitch up and say, look, I stayed out of this because I was trying to let you and your husband, my husband rather, handle it. But I want to talk directly to you. Do not, and I repeat, do not ever call my house or call my husband talking about moving that bum into our house. The answer is no. I don't give a fuck if he's homeless or not. He can live in the park in a tent. I don't give a damn. But I tell you one thing, that motherfucker's not coming here. He's not even going to come here to visit because I don't trust that he won't be trying to stake a claim in my house. I am a newly married woman. I want to have children. What I do not want to have is some mentally deranged, emotionally disturbed 40 whatever year old man in a house with my babies. I don't trust him and I don't trust you now either. I'm telling you, let me pick up this phone and find out you did this shit again. We going to have a problem and I'm going to find your ass and I'm going to kick it. That's what you need to tell her. You need to go straight hardcore ghetto bitch on her ass because she trying to act like she don't understand. It's like I don't give a fuck if you wanted to cook and clean and take care of a 40-year-old man. That was your choice. That was you and your red wagon. But I'm not, that ain't shit ain't happening here. Okay, this is my house. My house with my husband, and it's gonna be full of my kids, not yours. And you need to make that very clear. Oh no, that bitch would get smooth cussed out. And if his sister and her husband tried to get in it, I'd cuss they bitch ass out too. Everybody, your kids, your dog, all y'all getting cussed out. I don't give a fuck. But I tell you what, though you none of y'all gonna come to my house then. No holiday, no nothing, just forget you even know where I live. Cause you try to come up in here and you bring that motherfucker, I'ma shoot him on sight. And he might shoot you too just for not listening to what I said, what I'm going to go on in my house where I'm paying the fucking bills. I pay all the shit up in this bitch, not you. And that motherfucker with no job, no car, no future, no hope, no sense, he don't have nothing. He just a bum. And you want to take care of a bum, that's good. But oh, no, no, no. You better rise the fuck up and get your grown woman on with this bitch. Don't be letting her talk to your husband like that. And your husband needs your interference. You sitting up here writing to me. I mean, like I said, it's good because obviously people write and they're not sure what to do. Do what I told you to do and you won't have this problem will stop immediately. Because they'll be sitting there looking confused at each other, blinking, like, where did that come from? And just make sure she understands we're not having this shit. I'm telling you, we not having this shit. Don't you even think about calling here, talking that shit about that motherfucker again. Because he's not coming, even showing, not even on holidays is he invited to my house. Oh, hell to the no. She good. Because I'm like, talking about he has asked repeat. Soon as that idea came out of her mouth, my husband was on the phone talking about, oh, yeah, no, no, mom, blah, blah, blah. Snatch, bitch. That's how I am. I don't hold back. I cussed out members of my husband's family because he used to do this thing where he used to be very helpful to them before I came along. They used to use him. That's what they did. He's just got the biggest heart, and so he would always be trying to help people and stuff. I found out one of his cousins wanted to go to Reno, right? And so he went up to Reno and lost his money, his rent money. This motherfucker gonna come calling, talking about, okay, you guys, pay my rent for me. And I'm like, well, what happened to your money? And he's like, well, I went to Reno. I'm like, so what are you saying? Because I'm like, what? I'm trying. I'm not computing what you're talking about. And he's like, oh, I went up there. I said, wait, okay, so you went to Reno and had a good time and you gambled away your rent money for your house with your wife and your kids that you need to be providing for. And you calling us when we got a baby and stuff, we bills we need to cover over here. And you asking us to cover your rent because you gambled your rent money away. Is that what I'm hearing? I cussed that motherfucker out. Well, I was like, so like, oh my God, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, you know what? I know you used to do that kind of stuff for them. And they're like, well, that's my cousin, this and that. I said, yeah, but see, half of what your cousin makes now and half of what your cousin owns is mine. And my half is not going to your pocket. It's not going to pay your rent. It's staying right here in this house to cut some shit for us and our daughter. So, I don't know what you're talking about. You better figure it out. And hung up the phone. And he just sat there looking at me, blinking with his big eyes, just blinking like this. Because he had never seen me act a fool like that. I was like, let the motherfuckers be calling here with no bullshit like that. You need to tell them. They see me smiling my little fat cheeks and stuff, and thinking I'm all nice and sweet. I rose up on him and blew his fucking hair back. No, no, no. You got to get family, folks, in laws. In laws can either be really great or they can be some of the biggest pains in the ass. But you got to understand, you didn't marry them. You married dude, dude. And so your job as the mama lioness, the mama bear, is to protect her cub and to protect her mate. Sometimes mates need protecting. Men generally are, good at it, but sometimes they run into that one person, which is usually their mama, that they weaken. And that's when it's time for you to step in front of him and protect him from people that he might need protection from. Remember that. That's your job as the wife. Because sometimes husbands are stupid. They make dumb decisions or they give in because what is that raggedy ass car out there? Because they want to be nice and they want to, please their mother and all that old shit. I don't like, you better, you know what? Let me tell you something. If you make a decision like that, you better make sure that you can go over there and fuck your mama because you will not be fucking me. That usually got his attention. That got his, why you got to act like that? Why you got to be talking like that? I'm like, because you just don't get it. I'm just trying to make it very plain to you. You need to understand where your alliance is, and your allegiance is with me. It's not with her. That's your mother. But you got a different kind of relationship with her. And you need to understand what that is. You the daddy and you the husband, and you be fucking me and you take care of her. You can, anything left you can help. We're not saying mistreat your mother and all of that, but that's not your priority. Your priority is here. And you need to make sure that you understand that. I'm like, this nigga here. And keep in mind, I was 10 years younger than him, so I was just like a firecracker. You guys think I'm an asshole now. Oh, this is the toned down version. I don't know how I even got married. He was a special man. Oh, you bought some fabric? Oh, excellent. Look at that. I'm telling you, girl, sewing stuff for people is the business. I found a little dress that I made, but it's kind of looking raggedy. A little dress I made in 1980 something, and this dress still looks decent. It's still, it looks worn, but it still looks decent. All right, question number 5. There's a girl. Let's call her Wanda. She says, who was my best friend that I've known since childhood. I remember her always saying insensitive things, usually by belittling people's intelligence. I was never close with her. Fast forward, me and two of my friends went to university. We lost contact with Wanda, partially on purpose, she says. After graduation, we moved back to our town, and Wanda immediately latched onto us and now considers me one of her best friends, basically because I'm always around. I find her embarrassing in public. She's very loud, will yell things in restaurants that are inappropriate, or swear in front of children. She'll jump up and down while waiting in line for something she's excited for. She's 26 years old. And the worst part is if you tell her to calm down and politely shush her, she'll shush aggressively back in your face or just get pissed at you. She also loves to embarrass people on purpose. Recently, we were out at a bar. This bitch would get cussed out. And I saw a guy I was chatting with online, but we hadn't met face to face yet. So I was trying to play it cool. When I mentioned it, she proceeded to scream his name out. I told her to stop, but she continued to do it and even did it again later with a smug look on her face. I actually couldn't bring myself to meet him face to face that night because I was afraid of her embarrassing me in front of him. Not to be shallow, but Wanda also has an embarrassing appearance. She doesn't take care of herself. The night we went out to the bar, she told us she hadn't washed her hair in weeks. Oh my God. She always has a body odor. I've discussed this with my two best friends, and they say they feel bad dropping her because she has no other friends and thinks she may have autism. She invited me to her birthday this weekend, and I cringe about going, but all my other friends will be there. I feel like a crazy person that a lot of our other friends don't seem to take issue with her behavior, although some have in the past who now avoid our friend group because of her. Even though she's always poking fun at other people's intelligence and takes pleasure in humiliating us. Am I a bad person if I make it a point of never seeing Wanda again? Hell fucking no. You good. Because I mean, I can understand you have a good heart. Let me just congratulate you on that. You have a very nice soul. Oh, I do? As a super chat? Oh, I missed it. Well, thank you, whoever did it. Thank you. Thanks, Tiana, for telling me. I think this young lady's kind of Aspergery. You know, she's got the Aspergery kind of things going on here. Plus, she just a nasty hoe. So, Aspergery people know how to bathe and stuff, and shower and all of that. I have a cousin who's got special needs. He takes a shower every morning. He never stinks. He's very well groomed. He'll look in the mirror and tell his stepfather that he needs a haircut, and they take him to get. I mean, you know what I mean. So there's no excuse for this. And he wouldn't be. I don't know what his diagnosis is, but he's probably like mentally about maybe 12 or 13 years old, even though he and my daughter are the same age. But taught things, and it just takes a matter of time. Now, in this particular instance, if I were you, I would sit down and I would tell Wanda, I'm going to stop hanging around with you so much, and I'm going to tell you why. And rattle off these things that she's done, and how she behaves, and said, your behavior is very weird. It makes me uncomfortable. You seem to have no problem embarrassing and humiliating people, and you do it on purpose. And I don't see how that kind of behavior translates to you and I being friends. It's like you are intentionally trying to antagonize me, more akin to what an enemy would do. So I just want to let you know this is, for me, I need to put some space between the two of us. I wish you well. It's great knowing you all these years, but please don't call me anymore, and I will not call you. And that would be that. Yeah, Asperger's are loud. They talk really loud. Oh, Hadia, it's like a donation that people make within the chat. It's a thing with YouTube, and they give you it's like a tip, I guess, is the best way to put it. And people do that. So that's what I would do. So I mean, you good because by the time she did that thing where she, you know, did that look thing where she screamed out the dude's name with this look on her face, all self-satisfied for embarrassing you and ruining any chance you might have with this guy, I would have got up and walked out and left her the fuck sitting there by herself. And sitting up there talking about she hadn't washed her hair in a week and everything and stinking. I would have been telling her that you are just nasty and nobody want to be around you. Stink. You stink and your hair is dirty and it stinks and it looks a hot mess. You look a hot mess and you smell a hot mess. And you act stupid and that your behavior is a hot mess. So everything about you is something that nobody want to be bothered with. So let's not do this anymore. And then that would be that. To sum things up. But I know you wouldn't say it that way because you're a much nicer person than I am. So I'm just saying. A digital tip jar. Yeah, they call it that on some other channels. Let's move on to we got to leave Wanda in the rearview mirror. Question number 6. I'm a 22-year-old guy who found out about you on Twitch. I would like to hear from a woman I don't know and I'm not related to so I can hear the truth. The last 3 days I've been on, I thought have gone great. Laughing, talking, it seemed to go well. There were a few awkward silent moments, but that happens. One of the girls I kissed, the other two ended in hugs. There was no sexual contact. I was trying to be respectful. I'm looking for a relationship and someone to love, not just some ass. Anyway, each of the girls has told me it was fun, I had a good time, but I felt no chemistry. What the hell does that even mean? Should I have been more aggressive? I mean, they were laughing, smiling, said they had a good time. So what is the I don't feel any chemistry thing really meaning? If I had tried to make out with them, does that mean there would have been chemistry? No, it means you would have got your face slapped. Oh, even, sometimes women like dudes will try to, these pickup artists do this thing where they talk about escalation. of touching. They, they have this whole little skit, little what you call it, like outline program that they do where they like, you touch her hand, you touch her body, you do some stuff. Okay, the certain women don't want you touching them, and they will tell you don't touch me, and it will ruin the mood of the date. Other women will think I don't want you to touch me. What is this guy doing? He's moving too fast, but they're afraid to say anything. They think that it'll be offending you or some shit. I don't give no fuck. You put your paws on me and I didn't give you permission to. Then if your feelings get hurt from me checking you, then that, oh well. It means you shouldn't have done that. So what you have to do, what you don't understand what chemistry is. Chemistry is like, it's really hard to describe. It's like a vibe that you get. It's like a way that you connect with somebody. And when you have it, it's like you can't stop smiling. You want to look at them all the time. You're grinning at each other. The touching is a natural byproduct of that kind of chemistry. If the guy reaches, I mean, this one dude is like, he reached out and touched my hand, and we were not any place where there was no, like people say, well, you was in a environment where there was electrical currents, this and that. We was walking on cement. Okay, there's outside. There's no electrical something passing through concrete. But he touched my hand, and we both felt the spark. And so, but it was like that was just like a part of, we had been grinning at each other and looking at each other and drooling over each other the whole night. No touching until that moment. And it was like this electrical human current, because the body has electricity in it, went from one of us to the other. It was kind of interesting. So you when you have chemistry with somebody, you just click. I mean, it's just, you don't force it. It just happens. And it's the motivator for you to want to see this person again, to want to get more deeply involved with them, to want to kiss them and hold their hand and touch them and hug them and have sex with them. I mean, all of these kind of things are based on chemistry. Now, admittedly, there are some situations where all people have is chemistry, and they get involved in, these booty call situations where with women they had this amazing chemistry with somebody, but there's no foundation for it. It's just all fluff and chemistry. And so then they end up, going forward in a physical relationship with the dude, and then there's nothing to sustain it. Ideally, what you want to have is common ground, common, goals, common thought processes and stuff like that, so that you have something to talk about with the chemistry on top of it. Then you have a good choice. Oh, look at somebody figured out what the super chat is, and she made one. I see it. Hey, Hadia, thank you. So I don't know. And then there's people like me, like chemistry. Sometimes you got to run from that shit, because especially if you know that the dude that you having the chemistry with is a dusty in some way, shape, or form. You don't let that chemistry take you down a path of destined destruction. You cut that shit off. It's great to have chemistry. It's a wonderful feeling. It definitely adds excitement to your life. But you as a woman are responsible for who is the beneficiary of your chemistry. And you have to stay in charge of that. And if you know a motherfucker's dusty, he ain't got no car. His thinking processes are all fucked up. He don't take care of his kids. He's homeless, living at his mama's house. All this kind of stuff. Okay, I don't care if you have chemistry with him. You let him go, because that's just going to be something that's going to end up being a problem. Well, these, you got to remember, he said he found me on Twitch. This girl Betty. Twitch is a gamer channel. So a lot of these kids are on the spectrum. He sounds like he may not be, but a lot of them are. So they're very socially awkward, and the things that we take for granted of understanding, they don't have that understanding. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying they don't have it. So they have to struggle, and they have to be explained these things, and then they get it. 'Cause they're very intelligent. So, but once somebody tells them, they get it. But as with the rest of us, we'll figure it out from finer nuances of display behavior displayed, and things like that, because we understand the underlying message. They don't. Everything is at face value for people who are on the Asperger's autism spectrum. They don't have that skill set. So once you explain it to them, though, then they get it. And so that's what happened. He didn't get it. So now he knows. And now he can go off and, date more successfully and understand that if that chemistry is not there from the get go, it doesn't matter that they had fun and all that stuff. That's going to be the end of it. All right. Let's do question number 7. We got, didn't I say 13, 14 questions today? It's a lot. I know that. Wait, let me get some water. I'm 40 and recently started dating a 32-year-old woman. She has 3 children that live with her. I have always been great with kids. I have 2 daughters myself. One of her children is very hyper and doesn't listen to her at all. Every time I go over there, he hits me, climbs on me, and is a terror. I've always been able to get along with kids and I've never had any problems. I recently took her 2 younger kids and my date to a little carnival that was in town and then took them out to dinner. The entire evening was very stressful for me. Dude is brave. The younger one was being loud, rude, climbing on the booth, on the table, and just way out of control. I said nothing, of course, but felt very uncomfortable. I had to go outside at one point to smoke, which I don't do unless I'm drinking or stressed. It is obvious that this mother does not know how to discipline or control this child. I have never believed in spanking for any reason. I have never spanked my kids, but to be honest, I wanted to whip that little boy's ass. When we got to their house, I told mom that I would not be coming in. He had dessert while we were at dinner and would be on a sugar high. She asked why and I think she knew. I told her that he stresses me out and I feel bad that feel that way, but it is what it is. She asked, so now what? And I said that I would prefer that I see her only when he is at his dad's or is not there. She, of course, was hurt, but I felt I needed to be honest. I'm not their dad, and I do not want to be. When dating people with kids or in relationships that I've had, I like to take what I call the grandparent approach. Meaning the discipline is not up to me other than protecting my personal space and belongings and keeping them out of harm's way. She stated there's nothing that she can do and that he has medical problems. Well, I see how she handled the situation at the restaurant. It's obvious to me that she has no idea how to discipline him, meaning false threats over and over and over with no consequences. I want to see this woman again, but the stress of this child is too much for me. Thing is, I have never had this problem. I'm great with kids and I really love them, but for some reason I can't deal with this little shit. Any advice? Yes, break up. Let me tell you about this chick. I hate these weak ass mothers. It's like he has medical problems. What they got to do with his behavior? They don't have shit to do with him being a little brat and disturbing the other diners and disturbing this man. And dude, you a bitch. Let me tell you why. Nobody said you had to, discipline the child. But what you do is, and I do this, and I'm a woman. Some little kid does something inappropriate to me. I grab their hands and I pull them close to me in the face and I say, stop hitting, stop climbing, go and sit down and be quiet. Do not treat me like that. That is unacceptable behavior. And then I let them go. Now, parents who don't talk to their children like that and never put boundaries on them and never say no have a problem with that. And when they do, I get up and I walk the fuck out because that's one thing is how you treat your kid and you want your kid to do whatever they want to do. But see, that ends when it comes to me. Okay, so your kid can do whatever the fuck they want to do to you, but your kid is not going to hit me. Your kid's not going to bite me, pinch me, climb on me, take my shit, or throw my shit, nothing. So you better make sure your kid knows when I walk in that all that bullshit that your kid gets away with better stop when it comes to me. Now, you don't do that and I check your brat, then you need to shut the fuck up because you should have done it. You should have told little Johnny, get down. Stop that hitting people. You don't hit people, but you don't do it. And then you want to get an attitude when I do? Nah, bitch. You take your badass kid and go stick it somewhere, and I'm out. If I was a dude, this what I would tell her. I would be like, shit, fuck this shit. Fuck you. Fuck that badass kid. Fuck that badass kid's daddy. Fuck all y'all. I'm out. Mm-mm. Yeah. No, no, no. We're not doing that. It's like, it's like my own sister had her kids in my house. I threw them little brats out, grinding cookies into my carpet. And she just sitting there looking. I'm like, no, get out. Everybody out. Yeah, I don't play that kind of stuff. So, you got to you dealing with a woman who doesn't know how to discipline her kids. It's not going to get no better. And the kid just going to get older and just be more, um, more just get worse. And the mother and the kid, I mean, that's a package deal. It's the same as when you marry somebody who's like a woman who marries a man who's got kids with some other woman. That's a package deal because if something happens to that woman, and those kids are going to come and live with their daddy. He's next of kin. And so you can't just say, "Well, I don't want you, but I don't want the kids." It doesn't work like that. So in this case, dude, you know what time it is. She might be a wonderful woman. She might be, great and for you and all this old stuff. But the bottom line is this is her kid and this is her life, and she don't know how to discipline him. He's a brat out of control, and so there you go. I wouldn't want to be bothered. You was nice to take him out to dinner. I wouldn't take the ass shit. Bring him a bucket of chicken or something to the house so he could act a fool in his own house. Not in public with me. Mm-mm. Question number 8. This is not about dating, but I wanted to get your take. I'm wondering if I should have said something at a recent party. I attended a small gathering in someone's home where everybody just sat around and talked. Being that it's the dead of winter in Illinois, we live in Rockford, you would think the host would have the temperature cranked up to a comfortable level. I don't think she had the furnace turned on at all that night, and with people gradually flowing in, the front door kept letting a cold blast of air come in to make matters worse. On top of having to take my shoes off so her carpet would not get stained, I was freezing the whole night with bare feet and a jacket that is not meant for long-term outerwear. She is a very well paid executive who is not struggling to pay her bills. Should I have asked her to turn up the heat? I really couldn't leave until later in the evening, so I just had to suffer in silence and shiver. Maybe I should bring outerwear and heavy socks and gloves next time. Shit still would have been uncomfortable sitting there. I swear it must have been 40 degrees in that house. I didn't want to be rude, so I didn't say anything. Do you think this cold could be an ethnic difference as the host was white and I am black? The party was a mix of races. The other guests suffered in silence, also remarking to each other about the chilliness. How would you handle this situation? Ask her to turn up the heat? Would have taken a good hour or more for the room temperature to rise to normal. Bring a lighter coat and keep it on in the house. Avoid the party altogether. Bring my own blanket with me. Any suggestions? I would never go back to her house. First of all, I don't like to go to people's houses where they make me take off my shoes. That's what carpet shampooers are meant for. What the fuck? Secondly, uh, and you don't never gonna be freezing me either. Now I got to be freezing and sitting up in your house. I will go to my house where I can be warm. I hate being cold. This was some group of my friends wanted to go on a cruise to Alaska. I said, y'all going by your damn self. I'm not going. Any vacation I go, I need to be like in the Caribbean or someplace where the sun is warm. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. And I do find, white people do tend to be able to stand cooler temperatures than black people do. They get they get they like a lower temperature than we do. However, um there's no reason to sit in somebody's house like that. Why couldn't you guys just tell her, it's just a little cold in here, can we have some heat? Now, if she had said no, then it would have been time to go and make sure that you don't, ever go back. But I mean, maybe she was comfortable. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that you have to take a look at. For her, it may have been a comfortable temperature. I don't know, but I would have been leaving. I would have been leaving. I'm not gonna be then. I know you take off your shoes. You sitting up there with your $800 pump sitting over there somewhere, and somebody walk out the door with your damn shoes. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna wear my shoes, and if you don't want me to wear my shoes in your house, then I won't be in your house. It's just that simple. Beach shoes are expensive. You trying to wear some new, some nice stuff, and people be stealing shit because they come in there with some shit from J.C. Penney's or Payless Shoe Source, and then they see your Manolos, and then all of a sudden they got some Manolos, and you stuck with some J.C. Penney shoes. Fuck that. Nah, a true Californian girl. I'm just saying, that's just like you need a little carpet shampooer. These little spot. I have a spot cleaner thing in my house. I just don't do that. I want people to be comfortable when they come. Yeah, but they have shoes, they have slippers. But that's a cultural thing. But niggas is not doing it for that reason. They for a cultural thing. They just doing it because they too lazy to clean their carpets. Fuck that. Stay keep your clean carpets at your house all by yourselves. How about that? Question number 8. I'm 21. Oh, anyway, so my answer is, just in case you weren't clear, don't go. You tell her that how cold you were and how uncomfortable it was, and that, ask her why she did that. And then say, everybody was complaining how cold your house was. That just made a very uncomfortable event for everybody. And so I hope that if you have another party, either you turn the heat on or I'm not coming. And that would be the end of that. Number 9. I'm 21. My boyfriend's 25, and we've been together for 8 months now. He has some annoying habits, and I don't know how to approach him. Okay, first of all, let me just say, do you guys notice this? They always talk about how long they've been together. This is of such importance to these women. I do not understand it. It never freaking fails. They always talk about how long they've been together. That's like the number one thing to them. Oh, okay. He has annoying habits. He criticized me in public, loudly. Standing in a room full of people, he has said, "You need to clean your ears. They got stuff in them." It was shampoo that has somehow managed to evade my water and dried on and flaked. Standing in another crowd of people, he told me that my blouse was terrible looking. And another time, after I ate a garlic based entree, he hollered out, "Woo, what did you eat? Your breath stinks." He refuses to stop constantly touching me. He constantly has to lay his hand on my thigh while I'm driving. When I move his hand back into his own lap, he looks at me confused and just puts his hand back on my thigh and proceeds to rub upward towards my private areas. He does this in public too. He tries to grab my private areas, and after swatting his hands away multiple times and asking him to stop, he either continues or gets offended and walks off. He flirts with other women. Oh. When I first introduced him to my best girlfriend, he thought it was appropriate to jump on her back, grab her hand, and say, "I'm going to lick you if you don't talk to me." What? She didn't particularly appreciate his flirting and now actually hates him. He talks a lot. He makes up strange words and says really odd and inappropriate things. He makes perverted gestures at me in public, such as wiggling his tongue at me from across the room, ensuring that others have a clear view and making slurping sounds. Oh my God. He never lets me finish a sentence. Anytime I try to say something, he interrupts me and only lets me finish when I start yelling. He's also arrogant and conceited. He walks around staring other men down and shifting his junk in his jeans just out in the open where everyone can see. He constantly talking about the size of his member in public. This guy is a joke. He's got naked photos of himself online, but says, "I don't think I'm all that. I don't think I look that great." He also talks openly about past relationships and sexual activities, but get mad if I mention anything of my own. And he's never wrong. And then he tells me he's stuck in his ways and doesn't feel like he should be like this, so it's not gonna be. I realize he sounds like a self-centered jerk, and yes, he is to a degree. We both have faults, and I do want to make our relationship work. I'm looking for a suggestion on how to talk to him about this stuff, or to know if I'm just being petty. Your self-esteem must be in the toilet. You got a man pawing all over you, sexually assaulting your friends and insulting and degrading them, demeaning them, your female friends. He is grossly sexual in public places where people know you and they're seeing this behavior. He humiliates you in public. Okay, I'm looking at, where is the part that you want to save? Where's the part where that's so good that it warrants, all of this, ignoring all of this stuff? You just have a knucklehead asshole Dusty that you trying to figure out how to, quote, make your relationship work. You sound stupid right about now. I just want you to know that. I can't even mince my words. This dude is a joke of immense proportion. He is trash, garbage, worse than garbage. I don't understand what you're doing and why you even think this is something that you need to preserve and stay in. He wouldn't have got to treat me like this for 5 minutes, let alone 8 months. And you've been dealing with this for 8 months just to say that you have a boyfriend? See, that's what I'm saying. Your self-esteem is underground. You really think that this is appropriate behavior and that this is something that you need to tolerate. Yes, it's hard to listen to. I'm telling you, these young girls are just something wrong with them. Somebody's not talking to these girls and really telling them too much of anything about what they need to do and their boundaries and all of that. He's not sexy. He's not nothing. He's just insane. Talking about it. Okay, how would I have handled this? When he said, let me flip back. You need to clean your ears. They got stuff in them. You need to clean your nose. It's got stuff in it. My blouse is terrible looking. Who died and made you a fashionista? Your ass don't know shit about women's fashion. Shut up. Whoo, what did you eat? Your breath stink. At least my breath stinks because of something I ate. Your breath smells like ass all the time. He's constantly touching me. Touch me again, I'm going to cut your fucking hand off. And then I'd pull out my knife. He flirts with other women. By the time he jumped on my girlfriend's back, I would have snatched his ass off and we both would have jumped on him and beat his ass. You don't be touching other people like that. That's assault. She was probably terrified. You jumping on somebody's back? What the fuck is wrong with you? Making perverted gestures. Fucking freak. Staring men down and shifting his junk. Say, don't nobody paying attention to that little Vienna sauce that you got. Stop it. Oh my God. I would wear him out too, talking about he don't want to hear about your other men. I'd be like, yeah, and his dick was bigger than yours. And you know how you be doing all that tongue wagging and shit? That motherfucker could make me hit 10 O's in a row. Yo, you can't do that. So I don't know. Doesn't look like, you be over there wagging your tongue and stuff, but you just wagging it in the air. You ain't doing shit when you start wagging it. So I don't know what you doing. I don't know. He just need his feelings hurt. And then you need to break up with him. I don't know. He must be on the spectrum too, because this is some weird shit. I just never heard of no shit like this. I don't know where these women find these dudes. This is the kind of shit, I like they have one time to say something to me that I find offensive. One time to touch me in a way that I don't want you to. One time, and then you cut off. I don't do that. And it's like, you a grown ass man. I shouldn't have to tell you not to do that. You ought to know how to act. You're grown. Okay, it's not like you 10 years old. So if I have to, tell you how to conduct yourself, then motherfucker, I don't have no time for you. I'm trying to like advance my life. I'm not trying to be some remedial kind of bitch, with your remedial lessons in being a human being. Dusty love. Yeah, he need a knife. That's what he needs. Dad, this is question number 10. Ooh, these questions. Ooh, these people. This isn't my question, but it's one of the things I'm worried about because my mother in law is weird. And I can just see her doing some shit like this. What would you do if this were you? A woman had written into an advice columnist online and wrote, I had a baby 2 months ago. About 2 weeks ago, my husband had to go out of town for a few days, so his mother came to stay with the baby and me. One night I heard the baby crying and I heard my mother in law go to him. I thought she was going to bring him to me to nurse, so I stayed in bed for a while. When she didn't bring him, I figured she was just rocking him back to sleep and went to see if she needed anything, like a bottle from the fridge. When I entered the room, I saw her holding my son to her breast, letting him suckle. I was and am livid. I took my son back to my room and told her she had to leave first thing in the morning. I wanted to call the police, but my husband thinks I'll be taking things too far. We're at an impasse. Should we call the police? I'm hesitant to let her near my son again. I'm just curious, Deb, how would you have handled that situation? That bitch would have got tossed out right on the spot. Okay? That is some kind of weird sexual thing. Okay? If no milk is coming out of your titties and you have a baby sucking on your nipple, see, you're looking for some other kind of stimulation. You need to get a nigga for that shit. That basically what she just did was sexually molest your infant son. That's what she just did. Oh no, the bitch would have got tossed out. I would have taken my baby, put my baby in my room, tucked the baby in, went in there and started flinging her shit in a suitcase, and called my husband and told him, "Your mama is getting the fuck up out of my house right now. I'm putting her ass in an Uber. I don't give a fuck where she goes or where she decides she want to be. But I tell you what, she's not gonna be here. She's not coming in this house anymore ever. No, the mama." The child, that's child molesting. Oh, it's definitely child molesting. The baby is an infant. She just had the baby. What did she say? The baby's a couple of, wait, let me see. 2 months old. It's a 2 month old baby. So yeah, she had the baby 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. So 2 weeks ago. So at that point, the baby was like 6 weeks old. So see, that's some shit that it's not criminal to do that. I don't think. But what it is foul, nasty, disgusting, and it's child molesting. And so, see, if she's gonna do some shit like that, it's like, oh, bitch, get your ass some dick or vibrator or something. Don't be looking for some baby to be stimulating your titty. You need to get a nigga to do that shit. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Mm-mm. Celestia, girl, this is something. This the lady who sent this to me says it wasn't her question, but she found it online somewhere, and she just wanted to see, how what I would do if I had been, I guess, the advice columnist. I don't know. I guess no. She just wanted to see what I would do. How would you have handled that situation? Yeah, there's more about me personally. Now the bitch would have get tossed out, and I don't blame her for being angry. Yeah, the police. I mean, it's not really. I doubt that this is a criminal act. It may be. I don't know. I mean, you could run it by the police and see. But I doubt that they're going to say that. But what it is a notice to you that this woman is something's wrong with her. Okay, that's a boundary that one should never cross. You, like, as if you're a nursing mother, even if you do nurse someone else's child, you suppose the mother has to give you permission to do it, especially if she's nursing her baby successfully herself. I've heard a situation where babies were bottle fed and somebody, that was babysitting the baby or whatever, and then they nursed it while they was babysitting the baby or whatever, and that was fine. People were like, okay, that's great. That's not a problem, especially if that mother trusts that woman. But if this is somebody, your mother-in-law, bitch ain't had a baby since in 30 years, through menopause, ain't no sign of no milk could be able to come nowhere no time soon, and she just having a baby sucking on her titty. That's what she got. Fucking freak. Oh my God, she just nasty. Oh no, yeah. See, we would have been fighting. I'm telling you, after I put that baby in the bed, I would have snatched that bitch and dragged her around a little bit, and then had to bam bam her, and then throw her ass out the house. Mm-mm. Ooh, these letters. Ooh, I'm gonna be drinking tonight. Okay, question number 11. My husband and I are in our late 40s and have been married for 20 plus years. I recently found out that my husband's girlfriend from his teen years has been in contact with him. He was her first lover. They went to the prom together. They thought they'd end up marrying, but his family didn't approve of her. Blah, blah, blah. They lost touch. Apparently, she's been in several relationships over the years, none of them successful. She's now contacted him and is pouring her heart and soul out to him on a regular basis. I found out and let him know I wasn't happy about it. I don't think she should be asking for advice and help from him. He told her and she said she stopped calling, but it hasn't stopped. He didn't tell her that. She calls home his cell phone and she emails him. She also contacts him on Facebook. Our family cell plan went over on minutes in December. We had to increase our family plan. I printed out a detail bill for January today and found 544 minutes back and forth to her number in this other state. You need to get an unlimited plan. He insists they are just friends and he is helping her through a rough patch. I can't help feel that I am being made a fool of. He says I am wrong and that he's with me and he doesn't want to be with her. He gets angry and tells me he doesn't have that many friends. She's just a friend. He doesn't want to lose contact with her. Am I wrong to be angry? How do I deal with this? We've had some rough patches over our 20 years of marriage, but this I don't know how to handle. He thinks I don't trust him. I wouldn't trust his fucking ass either. And don't I would also wouldn't trust her. And you're right to feel threatened, and that's what you're feeling. You're feeling like the sanctity of your relationship is being threatened by this thing, and this is what they call an emotional affair. Because his emotions are going, his sympathy, his empathy, his pity, all these caring emotions and whatever, he's diverting them from you and over to her, and because she's this little wounded bird. So what you have to do is sit down with your husband, because sometimes you women you get so emotional, you bitch and complain, but you don't really talk. See, and you don't really talk. So what you need to do is sit down with him and say, look, The only way that you can resolve this is that you need to cut off all ties with her. The fact that she has your number at home, that means you gave it to her. Because of social media, that number is not there. She has your cell phone number, which I'm going to be changing as of today. I'm also going to be changing the home number. I'm also going to demand that you close your email account and open a different one that she doesn't have. You're also going to close your social media accounts, and you're going to block her from contacting you there as well. This is what you have to understand, is if you do not want to do these things and block all this woman's interference in our marriage, to me that means you want the marriage to be interfered with, in which case let's just get this over with and go get to a divorce attorney. I have no interest in being with a man that I have to fight for his attention from some bitch from the past. That is a bitch that you used to be with. I used don't seem to understand that this is a threat to our marriage. I just can't understand. But see, this brings me back to my video I done told you all about that man's first love shit. That's what this is. It doesn't matter where you are in his life, how long they've been with you, whatever. When the first love comes back around, they will fuck up every relationship. Everything will go to shit because his heart is still with her. He's still with her. It's been with her ever since whatever they teens. That was his first love, and he never got over her, and he never will. But this is more for you to set up boundaries for you, because you tell him this is what he's going to do, and then you just sit there and look at him. Talk calmly. Do not yell. Do not cry. Say, this is the only way that this is going to work. So you go away and you think about it, and then you tell me tomorrow what your decision is. And he's going to think about it. He's going to come back. He's going to say, well, I don't want to lose her as a friend. And then that's when you're going to know, okay, well, pack your stuff and go and be with her, then get out. Get out, and I will send, I'll give me your address, and I will send you the divorce papers to the address that you provide me. And then that's it. It's a wrap. And it's going to be hard for you. I'm not into marriage, but I'm just telling you, in order for you to leave this marriage like a G, don't you let him drag you down. Don't you let him get you in a spiral of self doubt, self condemnation, feeling like you're not good enough, attacking your own self esteem as you compare yourself to this woman and come out on the short end of the stick, begging him for time and attention and to focus on you and your marriage again. You're not going to do any of that. You're going to sit his ass down and you're going to talk to him like a woman, like a grown ass woman in control. And then you're going to just tell him, this is it. This is the only choices that you have. It's either A or B. And if it's B, then you need to see your way out. And then that's it. No, you don't want the call. It doesn't matter if the calls. Yeah, I mean, they might be. He's trying to act like they're innocent. They're not innocent if they had that kind of relationship and they're talking too much. That's emotional. He's investing emotions there. A person who's just a friend, you talk to, I don't know, once or twice a month maybe, but not this, 544 minutes. I bet you he talked to that bitch more than he talked to his wife. Yeah, she's got to do that. She's got to do that. Because sometimes marriages only last 20 years, 10 years, 25 years, and then people get a divorce. And this may just be that time for you. Question number 12. I'm 37, my boyfriend's 47, and he does not have a car. A Dusty. He gives me gas money, but I'm really tired of driving all over to see him or drive him home. I think it is unfair, and I only known him for 2 months. So I feel after a statement he made, oh, I mean, I don't need a car, you have one. I think this is kind of nervy. What do you think? Shouldn't a man of 47 have a car? He said he got rid of his car and he is divorced and has 2 kids to support. He is a broke, dusty bum. He's getting chapped for child support out the ass. His credit's fucked up, and that's why he don't have a car. Because anybody could have a car. He could get a little bucket just to have a car to walk, for transportation purposes. I mean, my car is a bucket. I don't give it runs great mechanically. I put the money into the car, but not the body part. I had that accident in October, so I got it fixed, but it's still no, it's not perfect like it was, but it'll work. But he should at least have that. He should at least have some kind of little bucket. But a motorcycle, something. But he don't have nothing. And he's almost 50 years old, and you be driving him around, chauffeuring his ass around? Fuck that. Gives you gas money. Tell his ass to call Uber. No, no, no. You need to dump him. It's only 2 months in. And in the future, if you see a man who, he needs to be on your level. Okay, I'm talking about responsibility wise. And you settled for some bullshit right here. 10 years older than you is stupid. And you just wasting your time. Yeah, get rid of this dusty bum. He's divorced and has 2 kids support. He's paying all his money. He don't have no money to date you. He paying child support. Mm-mm-mm. I'm telling you, these people, even at 16, when I had my car, you know those little exacto plastic things where you punch the letters and stuff and you put the little strip up there. I had one of those on my over the glove compartment part right by the passenger seat of my car, and it said this car does not run on friendship. And I let my friends know, even if they just gave me the money they was going to pay for bus fare, they was going to give me something because it's like gas was cheap then. But still they was gonna contribute something. I'm not sure for you ass around for free. What the fuck I look like? Question number 13. We're winding down. We got 14 questions today. We're doing pretty good on time. I'm asking this question for my 30-year-old cousin living in Kenya. Oh, yeah, I sent her some crazy response in email yesterday, but I'm going to give her a real response today. Okay. Um, she has twin boys from a previous relationship, now 12 years old. By the time the twins were born, she had already separated from their father. She has never worked, partially due to her own failures and inability to grow up as there are many opportunities there, and partly because her family enables her by catering to her every need. She dusty. She has continued to live in her mom's house despite all her other siblings leaving the nest. She doesn't work, but somehow has enough money to go out to bars and clubs every weekend. Her 60 something year old mother not only has to take care of her, but her children as well. The problem is, my cousin hooked up with another dusty, non working nignog soon after her boys were born and moved him into her mom's house. She never told her boys that this man was not their real father, so he is all they know. This nignog doesn't contribute anything to the household and relies on the money that my cousin's family sends home. Worse still, he is a drunk, abusive, and beats her up in front of her kids and her mother. She often threatens her that he will kill her. He has no parents, siblings, or close family members, no job, and nothing else to live for, so this is not an empty threat. He follows her when she leaves the house and threatens all her male friends. 6 months ago, he came home drunk and beat her up in front of everyone. She broke up with him there, but his fool refuses to move out of the house. My poor aunt does not know what to do. She is afraid of him and what he might do if she were to put him out of the house. They have to live in a perpetual fear in their own house, locking up the doors to their bedrooms when they sleep at night out of fear. There are some systems and organizations in place to protect women in Kenya, but they live in terror of this guy and won't use them due to fear. What would you advise? Get the fuck over your fear and take your ass over there and get a consultation. I mean, it's like, what do you want? I'm like in the United States. What am I gonna do? And wherever you are, what you gonna do? They have to handle this situation. But I tell you what, okay, go and get a consultation. I mean, he doesn't have to know about that. The aunt can go. If he follows her, then she can go wherever she's going. The aunt can go and get the consultation, especially since she's the one whose house it is. Why the auntie let this bitch bring them people, that dude up in the house? She was supposed to turn him around as soon as he came up in there. No, no, no. This house belongs to our family, and you cannot stay here. That's all she had to tell him. Get out, and tell her. And if you don't like it, you get out too. So your cousin, sister, whatever the hell she is, then she could go with him. But you're not gonna bring that shit here. That's all she had to do is to cut this off at the pass. Let him move up in there with no job and no money. What were they thinking? Okay, then number two, once he beat her up, she was supposed to call the police and have him arrested on the spot. Okay, I know they have laws about people getting their asses kicked in Kenya, right? So why didn't you guys do something then? Why are you just going to sit there and let him beat her up over and over and over again and not do anything? See, I'm not understanding this logic. And then, so kick him out of the house, but why did you not call the police? You can't just kick him out of the house and there's no record, a legal record to back up what you're talking about. And it's like, you guys don't have any weapons? You don't have no weapons so that you can defend yourself? I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to kill you. What he's going to try to do is use a knife or choke you to death or something like that. In which case, you got to remember that shit goes two ways. So they need to stay together. And if he tries to do anything to one of them, then they both jump on his ass, and the boys too. Because 12-year-olds are pretty strong. So it'd be four people kicking his motherfucking ass and stabbing him everywhere that they could get it. Now, my thing is this. My thing is this. He is a perfect person to show up missing. Because no matter what, like our grandmothers always used to tell us, no matter what a man does when he's abusive, when he's awake, that motherfucker got to eat and that motherfucker got to sleep. And when he's asleep, he's vulnerable. And when he's eating, you have the upper hand. Now, were something just say something happened to him while he was asleep or while he was eating, he has no job, so nobody's gonna be looking for him to come to work and wondering what happened to him. He has no siblings; they're not gonna be looking for him. He has no parents; they're not gonna be looking for him. Hmm. That means nobody's gonna be looking for him. So if something happens to him and he disappears, no one's gonna be looking for him. Now take that information and do with it what you will. That's my answer. Yeah, that's my answer. So you do with that what you want to. But yeah, that motherfucker would have disappeared. Been like, what happened to dude who used to live here? Oh, he got into it and he left. He packed his stuff and he left. We don't know. We haven't heard from him. I don't know what happened to dude. Nobody would know ever because he has no family. He has no job. He has no friends. He has nothing. And even if someone did come by, you just say he left. What they gonna do? Say no, he didn't? I'm just saying that motherfucker would be missing, and I would know nothing. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Why are you asking me? And our final letter. Now grits ain't good enough because grits don't make nobody disappear. They just fuck you up. He would still be there, just all fucked up. No, grits ain't the answer unless the grits have special ingredients in them. Yeah. All right. And our last question of the day. I am 21 and I've been dating this 27-year-old guy for 2 months. Everything is going right. The chemistry is certainly present, and I don't even doubt how much he likes me. And I know I like him a lot. He even made hints about marriage someday, which I liked because he didn't make it sound too scary. 21? That's a little young. We've never had sex. I never had sex because I like to wait, which is something he likes. But a few days ago, he said something weird. He said he finds feet sexy. And it turns him on. Apparently, he has a foot fetish. He said he likes to kiss and lick them. Is that too weird? Do all guys like that? I just felt that this would be humiliating to him, even if he finds it okay. I don't want to feel that he isn't a strong man or he's my slave or anything. Should I be spooked out or am I overreacting? Get rid of this motherfucker. What is it with you guys and these dudes that you have nothing in common with? These dudes are weird as hell. There's something wrong with them. And then y'all be writing me talking about, oh, well, we can make it work. Is this all right? Am I overreacting? No, he's a foe. He's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. Then see, I don't like the dudes that have all them different fetishes and shit. I'm not into all of that. I don't want you trying to touch my feet, licking my feet and all that shit. No, get out of here. I don't like weird shit. And so, it's like Leos, I mean, we're having like a certain experimental thing, but to a certain realm, we're very traditional. I don't want to do no swing from chandeliers. I'm not going to do nothing with no animals, with multiple people, all this stuff. I don't want to do none of that shit. I don't want to do none of that. So these dudes coming at you with all of this stuff, they want you to beat their ass. They want to wear diapers and they want to, do stuff with dudes and they just, cows. And no, I don't know. No, no, all guys are not like that. Um, Yours is though. Who cares if it's humiliating to him? It would bother me. You don't want to feel that he is the strong man. He's not. You would be disgusted with him. You have never had any kind of sexual activity with a man. Please don't let this be your first time with some freak. Get rid of him. Your first time should be with a man that should be like romance and love and passion and all this stuff. And you talking about, see, this is what example of how chemistry will get you into some shit. And she felt chemistry, so now she over there with, Mr. Tozy trying to figure out some shit. No, get rid of his ass. Oh my God, these guys. Oh, these dudes, they're just exhausting. I mean, just reading about them is exhausting. This is kind of like I want a relationship with a normal dude, just normal. Okay, no kind of addictions, no kind of fetishes, just normal. Okay, can we just have a normal dude? Just not a weirdo getting in public, flipping his dick around and looking at people and talking loud and just normal. Okay, can we just have a normal guy? Is this yeah? This should have turned you off from dating altogether. Then you don't want to kick your ass. I mean, just all this craziness. I just don't. I'm not down with it. Can't do it. Have no interest in it. No. And you guys, you ladies who can handle this shit, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. You shouldn't really be doing that though. I mean, like I said, I hesitate to tell people what to do, but what I will say is this. As a woman living in this modern times when with so many demands on us, as women, as parents, as productive citizens of society, as our jobs and our communities, okay, the energy, the time investment, the spiritual investment, the emotional investment that you make in something should be something that has going to give you a positive return. Okay, when you're dealing with somebody who's like this and it's causing you confusion and angst and anxiety, that is not a situation that you should be involving yourself in. Do not try to analyze your way around it and massage it around so that you're good with it. That first voice that you heard that told you, rang your alarm bells and said, fuckery, fuckery, fuckery. Pay attention to that. That's the only thing that you need to pay attention to. Don't try to justify it and mitigate it and do anything to make it sound like it's palatable. Just cut it loose. It's burning in your sensibilities that this is something that you know that you really shouldn't be doing. But so many of you second guess yourself and you talk yourself into stuff and you be like, well, I shouldn't this and I shouldn't that. And you start blaming yourself for not wanting to be um, a part and parcel of these dudes' freaky weirdness. Fuck that shit. No. Please don't do that to yourself. When you every time you sacrifice your values and morals like that and you crush some part of yourself, it lowers your self-esteem. It lowers it. So you keep doing that shit year after year after year to save these, stay in these miserable relationships with these miserable freaks. At the end of it, you're not even going to know who you are. You're just going to be a shell of your former self. All your joy and confidence and all this stuff is going to go away because you dropped all of that to give this dude what he wanted because you were so anxious to hang on to this relationship that was toxic. I don't understand it. Yes, I'm telling you, it's like Danger Will Robinson. It's like fuckery, fuckery, like the robot. And he used to wave his little arms around like that. I'm just saying. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed What the Fuck Tuesday. Every week it's like, oh my God, what the fuck was this? What the fuck is wrong with these people? What the fuck is going on? That's me. I don't know what y'all saying, but that's what I be saying. Whew. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And again, if you have a question that you would like to submit for What the Fuck Tuesday, this is the URL that you use. You click that link, it will take you right to the submission form and fill it out. There's a release there that you have to click that lets me put the question either online or read it out loud here on YouTube. Also streaming to Twitch simultaneously. You also can submit your video questions in a video. I mean your dating advice question in a video. We had a couple ladies did that a few months ago, and that's a new feature that I'm offering. So you can record your video on your phone and just upload it to the server, and I'll put it in it. It makes it a little bit more interesting. It gives people something to look at. So what do we got coming up? Okay, so today, this is video a day, Debruary. We wind it down. It's the 19th day. We only going to day 28. Tomorrow's 20, so 8 days to go. I'm doing good. I have made it every day. I've made it on time. This is unbelievable. So tomorrow is the 20th. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to talk about, are women being socialized to be independent? This is going to be a recorded show, so I will not be live again until Thursday. And we're going to be talking about mothers and daughters and how you are like your mother, whether good or bad. This should be interesting because a lot of people picked up some very negative things from their mothers, very negative, self defeating behavioral patterns and attitudes. And we're going to be talking about those. That'll be Thursday in the next live stream. And then on uh what is that? Okay, Friday we have another, we got live streams back to back. When is enough? Women that just want to hang on and on. I think that's what's on the 22nd. I could be wrong because I kept moving things around. I don't know what's on the 22nd to tell you the truth. But I do know on the 23rd, we're doing another dating and advice, real time thing where you come with your questions and I answer them right there on the spot. So that's on the 23rd. So if you got a question, want to get that, um, get your question answered, come on through. What you mean it's whack? It ain't whack. These people are whack, though, I have to admit. Oh, and then when one of the days we're going to talk about the live stream on Sunday, I think it is. Is your man emotionally bankrupt, a emotionally bankrupt narcissist? That's going to be interesting too. So many of you have these dudes that just have nothing. They have nothing to give you, nothing. They couldn't buy nothing to give you, and there you are in your relationship. So we're going to round out video a day February with some really hot, deep, like burning up fantabulous topics. I hope that you all can make it on those. Just check the community wall for the latest schedule and look at at the top of the channel. The live streams will be promoted there a couple of days in advance so you can see if it's something that you are interested in. But this is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com and here on YouTube and Twitch. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves here on what this last What the Fuck Tuesday. We got one more from February to take place next week. Submit your advice questions if you have some. The link's in the chat stream. And I will see you on Thursday. Be right here at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll talk then. Bye bye.